All right, we're live.
All right, everybody, welcome. This is the Select Board meeting, November 18th. We'll start as per usual with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Dave Hemingway, Chair of the Select Board.
Marlo Herrick.
Norman Blake.
And meeting rules and procedures, I don't think we're gonna have a problem with this crowd, but just for the usual, and we do try to adhere to schoolroom rules, so please raise your hand, we'll try to get to you, and don't interrupt people. Announcements.
We have a meeting through Zoom next Monday, beginning at 5:30, with the Hopkinton Select Board.
Oh.
The first part of the meeting is to talk about the 2025 operating budget, and followed by,
For the transfer station.
yes, each board will be having a public hearing regarding the changes to the ordinance.
The ordinance or the fee schedule? Or both?
Isn't that part of the ordinance?
Well, the fee schedule is separate, but
Oh, well, didn't
It
you
could be
change,
both.
didn't you change, I think you did.
I know we were saying we wanted to change fees.
I mean,
don't think that changed
it
the
wasn't
ordinance.
major, but I think there were a few changes.
Okay.
And there were the fee changes.
Okay.
That week also, Thanksgiving is Thursday, we'll be closed Thursday and Friday.
And the town clerk's office will be closed on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, but our office will be open.
And you saw the notice I sent today regarding the upgrade to the power that will be
yes.
shut off on December 5th.
Yep, so this
part of the
building,
day anyway.
this building for part of the day will
Yeah.
have no power December 5th, as the power is getting upgraded to handle the heat pump systems. I will note, as I saw a flyer in the back, as I was waiting for the meeting, there is a holiday craft fair here on December 7th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. With free entry, hosted by the church, the Congregational Church here in Webster. With crafts, raffles, and refreshments. Do we have any further announcements?
There's a public hearing this Thursday for the planning board on zoning amendments and driveway regulations amendments. The zoning amendment is a change to the impact fee ordinance, clarifying that the impact fee, if your property burns down or you reconstruct or building gets deconstructed, after 3 years, if you don't go for an extension for that, it goes away, so you would have to pay impact fee again. And the other one is the driveway regulations. It's removing one line from the driveway regulations, making sure that it's clear that the town requires both the state and local permit for driveways
On state roads.
on state roads.
All right, so that moves us into appointments then. Which I don't have a list of appointments, but I imagine most of them fall under also old business, which is budget.
Yes, so the first appointment is with Chris Shaler from the Conservation Commission, who is present. I'm passing you her budget. And Chris, do come up and.
You'd like me to sit there?
Sure, why not?
Sure.
Come on down.
It's just so special. Okay, so, what I did was I divided this, it might look a little odd to you. The budget actual request is above the dotted line, and beneath it is what we were able to accomplish this year, which was really stunning. The board was generous enough to grant us $4,000 last year, and what we thought we would have to do is use the bulk of that money for a bridge going into the mock forest. But what happened instead was Betsy Janeway's son Willie offered to build the bridge for us.
Oh, wow.
And so we benefited greatly. So now anybody can get into the mock forest, with the exception of somebody in a wheelchair. That still is no longer possible, but the trail itself doesn't really lend itself to a wheelchair very easily. So anyway, we are asking for $500 again for the standard administrative costs of workshops and that kind of thing, and dues to NHACC. And then our work. We are going to continue our work on the natural resource inventory, which may require some money being paid for some help tightening it up. I attended the NHACC conference a couple of weekends ago, and I also made a presentation at it. But at one of the workshops that I attended, there were many towns were putting finishing touches on NRIs and incorporating the NRI, hoping to incorporate the NRI into the master plan, which makes all the sense in the world. So in order to do that and make it reasonable, we're paring it down a bit so that it's not 15 or 20 pages long. So we may need some help working on that. And then there is a second area in the mock forest that has been flooding terribly. And we would like to construct a very, very small sort of slab bridge over this area. And so we think that, possibly that might run up to about $1,500 for that. With the new bridge and the second bridge, we've got two wonderful loops, with one exception, and that is that one of the loops lost a number of trees in the last year with the storms. And the trees aren't on the trail. It would be a lot easier if they were. The trees are hung up in other trees. So we've had a couple of foresters come out and look at it and give us advice. And they've said, it's a mess, it's dangerous, it's liability, build a new trail around that area until these trees come down out of the trees. So that's essentially what we did. So that's our ask for 2025. It's basically the same amount of money as last year. And then I wanted to show you what we were able to do besides building the bridge. We put up a launch sign at the boat launch. We were able to purchase a bench in honor of Betsy Janeway, and that is down there overlooking the river. And we also purchased a dedication plaque. For those of you that may not know, that purchase of that very small piece of property would not have been an option for us as a town if the Janeways had not given us the rest of the money that we needed. So anyway, I'm excited about what we've been able to do. Questions?
So thank you for the presentation. I do want to go quickly back to last year.
Yep.
And please feel free to correct me. Maybe I'm remembering a different year. But I remembered that my memory is that part of that was, of course, the NRI work, and I think there was a gentleman in a contract with that you were working with.
That was prior to that. So Bob.
Okay, so that was 2 years ago.
Robert Quinn.
Okay.
Yeah, Bob Quinn had been working on the first part of the NRI for us.
Okay, and the second one was, at either last year or the year before, you had mentioned that for the trail mapping, that was delayed because you were looking into doing it with GPS and apps and stuff like that.
Yes.
Where is kind of the status of all of that?
Okay, the status of that, as a result of help that we've been able to get from the easement people who work for the state, Mary Jo has been able to download on her phone. It's the coolest thing ever. When we go out and walk the easements, which we have to do every year, her phone makes a little trail to show us where we have been on the property. And so, so we're learning how to use that. And with regard to a trail system, which I think is what you were referring to, yes, we have drafts of several trails in town, pending landowner permission, because in some places the trails cross private land, so we want to make sure that there's no problem. None of the land is posted, but we want to make sure that there's no problem. We're also building out the trail map system to include trails that go over to Warner and up into Salisbury. So it's gonna be great.
That sounds awesome. Do you have any idea when we might see some of the fruits of those labors?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, I'm hoping, you know, by next summer that we have something that we can put online. Right now, we're in a little bit of a fix in terms of not having very many members as part of the Conservation Commission. Are we on air now?
Yes.
So, if anyone out there in the listening world would like to participate in the snazziest commission in town,
Well,
Yep.
were you sales at one point in your life? No.
so the Conservation Commission really needs some help. And it's primarily fun work. I'm talking to somebody like they're listening, but we do need some more help. So that's really the stick in the mud right now.
Mhm.
It's just a
How
few of us.
many members do you
There's
have?
only 4 of us.
4? Oh. I remember there being more. I'm very hopeful that more people come and join you.
Why, thank you, David, so am I.
And if you haven't gotten them by then, please make sure that you plug that again at town meeting.
Oh, I will.
All right, any other questions from the board?
I'm gonna do a December paper, my last one. I know, last. Can you write
Okay.
something for me?
Do I,
Can you please?
can I, what would you like from me?
I'd like
Would you
what you
it-
just said, what you want, need people and
Oh,
whatever you
gosh.
wanna write, I don't care.
Yes, I can do that. I
Okay,
can write you a little story too.
that'd be great.
And I provided you with what I hope will be the front page of your paper. Do you remember that? I can resend it.
Yes, yeah,
It's
resend it
the
to me.
Save the Grapevine.
Oh, that's, yes,
notification.
that, yes. I do remember that.
Yeah. There are a number of people who are very interested in participating in that
Good.
town event should it occur.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd make me happy.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Am I done?
Any other questions for Conservation Commission?
Wanna join? You're sitting there like sitting ducks.
Yeah, I have plenty of time.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I'm sure you do.
Thank you.
Can I
Yes.
ask a quick question, because I'm gonna,
Absolutely.
this is for you, actually. I'm wondering how far you and Emmett have gotten in your consideration of a new salt shed.
Well, we're supposed to kind of discuss the road work up back, and that has not happened.
The road work.
Meaning getting up back to where the salt shed would go.
Okay, I thought it was just the building that you were
Well, in the
discussing.
building, well, the whole project.
Like
Whole-
where it's supposed to go and
Yeah.
how it's supposed to sit
I
to
see.
mitigate stuff and what the right type of building is.
Okay.
That was where that's.
But he was
that's
waiting to
supposed
get done and
originate.
putting his roads to bed and then, you know, I guess it's a little slower time.
Okay.
In the next month or so.
Yeah, slow time, the holidays. Good idea. Okay, thank you.
Chris, in my world, there's really not a slow time.
No. I agree. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I expect that story.
Mhm.
I expect the story.
Yes,
Couple
ma'am.
days, please.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the
Thank you.
library there, proposal and last deal.
Okay.
Of course. Thank you.
Come on down.
Okay.
We're fine.
Okay. That's Dick.
You look confused.
I'm just trying to line up from one to the previous.
Oh,
Some of them looking maybe they
we've
were
gone up on
in
a
the
few
slightly
things.
different spots, but I think it was that our previous one, the line items are slightly off in a couple lines, like they moved up or down. But that's okay.
We, okay, so we went up a little bit on the household. We went up from 640 to 700. Though we're still paying the guy who does the cleaning. But we have a little bit more in there for cleaning the carpet. And we also added $200 to the materials. The materials are basically the books, the magazines, the DVDs, all that stuff. We had to raise it just a little bit. And let's see, what else did I have here? The biggest was that we increased the amount that we're paying for the assistant librarian, because she was being paid for 4 hours a week, but she was actually working many more hours, so we're paying her now for 8 hours a week. And also,
Which line is that?
that would
Because
be.
it looks like salary hasn't changed.
No, salary did change, because that's Catherine.
I see,
Is the
I see
salary-
the same number in
and the
both the previous budget and
Is
this
it
one.
under payroll, Marty?
Payroll is
that
the
Julie?
assistant.
Okay.
librarian.
That was 6,000, now it's 11,
And I
right?
see I've got the lines a little screwed up.
No, this was
No.
the previous budget, but these don't quite match, like, this is obvious, this is line, program, but it's actually salary.
Oh, right.
So some of the stuff on the
Yeah.
previous
I had,
one that you're looking at here doesn't
I'm
Like
off
the
the
number
line.
doesn't quite
Gotcha.
match up all the time.
I thought that I had entertainment.
It looks like it's
Which-
shifted one line.
It's one line down.
Okay.
Because I moved what
Yes.
was an entertainment now to just programs.
What's the
Although-
payroll and the salary? That's two
The
different
salary,
things.
the salary is the librarian, Catherine.
Okay,
And the payroll is for Julia, who's the assistant, because she's working per hour. She's now.
Oh,
getting-
okay.
And she's also getting paid $15.75 an hour, so we increased,
oh, okay,
or as we increased Catherine.
3%.
Right, yeah, because this is, cost of living
So-
increase was like
So it
5.
looks like you're looking at about double the hours-ish?
For Julia, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just hard to, when the lines don't match the items on our
Yeah.
old stuff, it's hard
Right.
to
Sorry
compare. So
about that.
I'm just
Looks
trying
all right.
to do it, but okay.
And I want
Looks
to tell
like
you
you
also that, that I was just, did you get my message about the phone and the internet? I called TDS, because I wanted to know if we could get, a better,
I did get that.
yeah, a better internet. And we will get, we'll get to the top of the TDS for exactly the same price. So, I thought that was kind of.
that was nice.
Yeah.
Twisting
Well,
the
they're
arms
wicked
or what?
pushing right now, like.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, I
trying
mean-
really, well, because anything that they get, they can use as an excuse to upgrade equipment, which gets paid for by the federal and state programs to upgrade telecommunications.
There's always something in it, huh?
Marty, are you not changing Catherine's salary?
Yes,
Yeah, we
it's
did
up
change.
3%.
Yes.
It shows the same number that, at least in this.
Then I might have, I thought that I had her salary being, I thought, the salary I had here was $35,012. And then I had that increased by 3%.
Did you put these in for this year's?
That's what
Or
Marty
was
gave
this
us
was
last
the
year.
previous? Okay.
Yeah. I did, when I moved it in there though, however, I did miss a line. But it's the same figure in both years,
Yeah,
so
so we think you forgot to do that increase.
So-
probably the previous year, you had added 3%, which came up to the same figure as what this one came up. So I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just saying.
I will talk to Wendy and find out, because I thought I had Wendy's numbers.
Okay, well, that's probably a good
Yeah.
idea,
Okay.
yeah.
Sounds good. Looking at this, it looks like you're expecting the same amount back from investments as the previous year?
Yeah.
The interest
Yeah.
rates have kind of changed a bit,
No,
so is that
no,
accurate?
We're 3%.
So it's accurate to be the
Right,
same the whole,
yeah.
okay.
Just enough for your raise.
Not my raise.
Nah, I'm kidding, I'm sorry, I was just being silly.
All right.
That's good.
Any other questions? Any particular programs or new features or items you'd like to shout out?
Well, I remembered you asked last year.
She was ready.
I was ready. These aren't necessarily new, but it's kind of good for people to know what Catherine does in there and what is going on in the library. So,
This looks like it's multiple copies, so that's one for each of us.
over there. So we have the monthly movies that Marty is completely in charge of, and Denise helps out. And,
And of course, there's free popcorn too.
well, I wrote down that we
Right.
purchased an old-fashioned popcorn machine. And Catherine does the book group, which is monthly. I only went through October because we haven't met for November and December. So she gets the books, they're chosen by the people in the group, and then she gets the books through interlibrary loan if we don't have enough.
and she runs the meetings. And the summer reading program is very, very successful. Parents come in and they read the stories and they do crafts and snacks, and it's a mob scene in the library with everybody in there, but everybody has a really good time. And she spends months getting that ready to go. It's not an easy thing to do. With the elementary school cookbook, she needed to find, apparently there's nobody in town or anywhere else that we could find that still had the cookbook.
I think I do. From years
You're
and
the only
years
person we
ago.
didn't ask, I bet.
Pardon?
You're probably the only person that she didn't ask.
Probably you're right.
Yeah.
Probably I'm the only one that saves all that stuff, because I worked on that too.
Yeah. and-
So do you need his copy now?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
She's all set, but it was a copyright issue that we wanted to make sure
Yeah.
it was all straightened out. And it's a state rule that library directors have to be evaluated once a year. So what we have done, instead of having these 15 pages of true false and all of that, she does an MBO, which is management by objective. So she comes up with 3 items that she would like to work on during the year. And one of the ones that she did last year was getting the cookbook online. And that was a lot of work. Catherine's not getting any younger, just in case. We're very concerned in the trustees. We're trying to make her job as easy as possible, so she'll stay. There are like 50 openings just in New Hampshire for library directors. And nobody with an MLS like she has is going to want to work in a library where they're making very little, because we're not open that much. But, so she does that. She also, these are the webinars that she attended, Zoom. And some of the other things that she did, she got in all kinds of glasses for the eclipse, and then ordered more glasses for the eclipse, and they all disappeared very quickly. She does monthly statistics for us. She trained the new library assistant, which is also ongoing. And she works with the volunteers who are on Wednesday nights from 4 to 8, keeping those of us that do that informed of news that's going on in the library, so we know what we're doing. She does the library website, and she distributes a monthly newsletter. And she assists a lot in the developing of the budget. And then she presented her yearly MBO to the trustees in March when we have our library meeting. It's kind of like town meeting. So that's what goes on in the library, and I'm sure there's more, but it's what I could think of it at the time.
I think I called it out when it came in, but please correct me here if I'm not wrong, if I'm wrong or mistaken. You got a thermal camera for doing kind of your own weatherization audits and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, there's a library of things, and there's all kinds of things in it, from crafty things to home things. And she did all of that, all of it. She's amazing. Because everything in library gets different every year, just like everybody else's job. And there's always at the bottom of your job description, and duties is assigned. And that's what always gets just added on to everything else you do. We all know about those.
Any other questions or?
No.
Okay. So I guess just make sure that Dana has the accurate number
I will
for
check
that.
on- Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Let's see, just to run the pick number based on the previous, let's see. So the number presented here was previous 5758.
Marty, don't go, cause you're also
So
next.
approximately a
Energy.
6%.
Okay,
Yeah.
Increase.
I just sit here
Yeah, it's
right now.
approximately a
If you
6%
wish,
increase
sure.
for all of that addition.
So required from the town.
No, it's because it got moved down a line.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it's approximately a 6.5, a little over 6% increase is basically what it is. How have you seen usage of the library? I know it's kind of like, it's gone up and down and up and down, especially with pandemic. Is it kind of
It's-
evened out? Is it staying higher?
It's not completely back to where it was, but it's working its way there. So it's one of those things that if it's, I mean, we were doing the curbside pickup, but if the library isn't open, people think, it's gone. And the one thing that helps us a lot, well, there were several things, the movies and the book club, but the summer reading program, because that gets in the young people that have little ones. And so they get, sometimes going into a new building that you haven't been in before is intimidating for people.
Right, absolutely.
And we don't have, we don't have a glass door, so they can't peer in to see what's going on in there. But when you have the summer reading program, the parents all come with the kids, because they enjoy it too. And that's how they get in, and they're getting in with friends, so it makes it more comfortable. I think we'll be back up. I don't know that we'll go too high, but we've got a lot of new people in Webster too.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can afford the houses, but.
We had a lot of new registrations for the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
So yeah, you've
Yeah.
got a lot more people that can come join.
Yeah, and the houses on Pillsbury Lake just flip all the time,
True.
and they're very expensive.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
but when you
much.
compare them to some places in Concord and all that, they're cheap. Reasonable, I should say.
Well, in the Concord Monitor, they were, a couple of weeks ago, they had the two highest towns in Merrimack County house-wise. Number one was Bow. What do you think number two was?
Not Webster.
Number two was Webster.
See, because we have lakes, and that makes the property more
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
Plus-
Because that's what bothers me, when they do an average and say, well, Webster's got all these expensive houses. Well, you got a lot of them on the lake, which is, and my daughter's on the river, so those are all, make everybody look like we're all rich here. That's not true.
But also, I think it's because, I still say there's not a lot of place to land to purchase.
Well, that's-
It's a lot of family land, a lot of farmland. and-
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're very limited, so
what we
people can
learned in
ask if they wanna live here in Webster, they can have what
that's
they
the-
want.
That's the thing, what we learned in school, supply and demand.
Yeah.
It's not,
Well,
the demand is high, but the supply is not, so everything's really expensive.
Well, and farming and farmland is very expensive.
Yeah, well, that's
so-
true too.
Yeah,
But I think a lot of your housing in larger communities is not the same as here in Webster. You've got apartments, you've got
Right.
lower homes, you've got, so I don't know whether it's economies of scale, how that works.
Yeah, who came up with
Yeah,
exactly that?
just putting in
I
a
find
few
that a little
condos
bit hard to
will
believe,
drop
but-
the
Yeah.
average
Yeah.
a lot.
Sunapee and Newberry and Winnipesaukee, we're second? Okay.
well, it was just Merrimack.
They're different county.
That's
Yeah.
right, sorry, all right.
And,
Thank you.
it's just like with Loudon, some of Loudon is gonna be really expensive, some of it's really not.
Right, exactly.
So,
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So you said Energy Committee was next.
Energy is next, so,
Yeah.
Welcome.
Well, I did not submit a budget.
well, I didn't think you had really too much to
Right.
have to
If-
prepare. Last year you asked for 500, we have
And-
spent 250, which was the membership.
Right.
And that's,
And I would say leave it at 500, so we can have it just in case we have, again, those places where we have to,
Yeah, this,
pay it.
this year, we went back to being able to use that, so the membership we've been getting, and then, for 1 or 2 years, they were charging for the tickets to some of the conferences, and this year, when we were going back to that, they were providing the tickets like they did last year again,
Okay.
because we were a member.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think I agree, it's probably in a pretty good place to just leave it, and maybe we get an extra $100 or two back into the general fund, but it's not gonna change much.
That, you'll see that in a greatly reduced taxes.
Right.
Good. Hey, nobody been complaining about the energy committee then?
Right, yeah.
Well, if you'd like, we can try
Start
that.
whipping it up.
Which I'll give up, I'm gonna give the very brief plug of what I gave last time, because we weren't on video. Thanks to the Energy Committee, we did go through and get Webster Community Power going, in partnership with Community Power Coalition of New Hampshire, and we launched in March of this year. CPCNH has grown to count at least 70 municipalities and counties as its members, and now represents roughly 40% of New Hampshire's population. But here in Webster, in the 7 months following our launch, so the data is the start of last month, which is when we had the data for last time, Webster Community Power has delivered almost 2.2 gigawatt hours of energy to Webster residents, and has saved Webster residents collectively at least $28 million on their electric bills versus the utility default power options they were previously on. So
That's pretty
your
impressive.
$500 and a bunch of volunteer time doing work to help everybody.
I think it also has to do with us being volunteers, that we're not, neither of us, I mean, obviously, you still have to go to the, basically the monthly meeting, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
As I'm part of the board, I got elected to their board of directors, yes.
right, and I go just about every other month, for the governance committee, and of course, we're not getting paid for that, so, and that's why this is a good.
We'll put in for a little percentage of that.
Yeah.
Awesome, well, thank you.
Okay.
That was easy, huh?
Yeah.
Where's that
usually
Staples
is.
button? We could have it sit right here,
There we
Dave.
go.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you very much.
And you can have an open
So
session.
the next one is personnel administration,
No, okay.
and, yeah,
Seriously?
this is, basically what's in that is the FICA taxes,
If I can,
like Medicare, and the retirement. I haven't filled that in, I was thinking it was gonna be very similar to last year. I'm thinking that we are going to be just about right at the retirement figure. We're gonna be using what's remaining there, in the next, what is it, maybe we got left, 3 payrolls. And then the FICA, we may have about $2,000 left. And one of the kickers of this is trying to get a figure when I don't know what the salaries are gonna be yet. So,
Thanks,
and I
Marty.
think probably that's what happened last year, is that we kinda estimated.
I don't know if any of them passed, but I do remember a couple different bills that were presented and made it at least to House or Senate floor for changing the amount of retirement funding from the state. I think one was up and one was down. Did any of them pass, or is it still the same?
You know, I'm not really sure. I've tried to follow that, and to me, they offset each other, kind of. And I
Yeah, 'cause
don't,
somewhere
I
like
don't
just for
feel really
emergency
confident in
responders
saying
and-
what they're gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not a very good answer, but it's the best I can do on such short notice.
Okay, so these being accurate figures for or having worked out to be pretty accurate figures for this year, if we assume a percentage increase across the board for everybody, should we also assume a similar percentage increase here?
Yes, but it won't be the same percentage, of course. It'd be because of the taxes are a different percentage than your increase. So you wouldn't want, it would be too much if you just added a 3%, whatever your percentage comes to.
Well, but wouldn't it be like, so, let's say everybody was getting 2.5% increase.
Right.
As the theoretical,
Right.
because I think that's the floor of our policy.
Right.
If ever, well,
I
close
guess-
enough.
yeah.
If everybody got the 2.5%, wouldn't we take the number in this line item and also increase it by 2.5%?
I don't believe it would work that way.
Well,
Because, well, first of all, the FICA is, what, .0765? And so, again, I don't think raising it 2% would work, but I haven't done it
Okay.
mathematically either, to tell you the truth, but it won't be far off from that.
Okay.
I mean, we're not talking significant money.
so there's a placeholder saying like 2.5%.
Right.
To eat both of these is a
Right,
good
and,
placeholder.
and probably we'll have enough time to be a little more exact once
Right.
those are all set, and I can do the
Because that'll-
math. And if you're right, I'll do something nice for you.
Because in theory, we should
It's
know
not gonna
all
say
of
what it
this as
is.
we go into the new year, and then we would have this known before we get, present the budget at the budget hearing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
The next item I have is insurances, and I don't quite have all the figures yet, so I'm going to ask
free.
if I can bring it.
I mean,
I like that answer.
I highly doubt that, but I'll be bringing it, I guess, at your next meeting.
Well, we're also healthy, it's low risk.
Hmm?
I said for health insurance, we're also healthy, they determined we're low risk.
Well, I know health insurance has gone up like
Like it always does.
Like it does.
Yeah.
And then I think that the workers' comp, and then that has workers' comp, it also has the unemployment insurance, it has, the liability insurance on our buildings and equipment.
Also, don't forget that with the insurances, we won't know which of the tiers they're taking, but we should expect at least one full-time police officer.
When I figured it last year,
I remember
I
we
had
took out a
one-
few months
Yeah.
because I think we took out the first 3 months.
but,
yeah.
and I think we figured it as a,
A pair.
yeah, I have to be careful how to word that, but, at the higher rate for more members of a family.
Mhm. Okay, so that's insurances.
The other thing I wanted to mention to you, you had asked me last time about what the other public safety account was all about, the $100 that we had put in that. And I looked to see if I could find a record of it, and of course I didn't, so I asked Wendy. And she told me that it was to pay for food. I had given you the little note on it, in the event of a significant emergency. And I felt for $100, I wouldn't worry about funding that one, and it probably could go, because I think we could cover it from somewhere else. And then I expected Emmett to be here, with his budget, and
Yeah, he was supposed to give us numbers this time.
yeah,
Because last time he didn't.
and since I don't see him, and I did see him today, and I should have made sure he was coming, so sorry about that.
And then I see below that police mentioned
yeah,
again,
that's-
is that just an
yeah.
extra copy paste?
Well, we had changed Steve's thing, and obviously I didn't change that one,
Okay,
his appointment, because he presented last
Yeah.
time.
okay.
Could help us find.
Is there, and obviously we can't do the sanitation solid waste yet, because that will be, we'll
yeah,
hopefully have
that's
some
for
numbers to work
next
with
week.
next week.
But what I'll do, I will enter everything that you heard tonight in our spreadsheet format, and you can review all of them. Maybe it'll give you a chance to go through them and review and see if anything looks like it needs changing.
Let's see, so if that's a 5:30 meeting next Monday,
Yeah, but Hopkinton meets early,
Lucky.
yeah.
Do we wanna try to go over what we have before that? As much as I don't wanna try to meet earlier, then that makes the problem of being hungry as we go into their meeting. But we will be here and they don't usually tell us a whole lot.
No.
Oh, you're saying we could just kinda go over it and get here like an hour early or something?
Yeah. Or we could stay an hour afterwards.
Oh, I like the early.
Can always
I
make
figured
good
you both would.
They
Can have a
probably
nice
do too.
charcuterie
So did
platter.
you wanna meet at 9 AM?
How about 7:30?
I can do it.
How about not?
How about we make it 4:30 and I can stay up until then?
Okay, so
Okay.
4:30 next week.
AM.
Oh, AM.
Well,
No,
Dave,
no.
don't you worry, I'm up.
Okay.
So I don't think I don't see a problem. How about you
It's
guys?
an hour and a half before I get up.
Actually, I think I saw 3:30.
Well, many times I'm awake then.
Yeah, I always say, if you got any questions, give me a
An
shout.
hour before that, and then I get up at 5:30.
Yeah,
But, no, so it looks like 4:30 is then the.
I still have to
Is that
leave in
AM
the
or
morning,
PM?
so
So
I'm
we'll
not
meet
up
here
at
an hour
5:30,
before
thank
their-
you.
I am AM right now.
I
I'm
get up to
on.
go to bed.
Yeah, I could see, I don't go to
Now,
bed.
do you
I
think
mean,
the
I'm
transfer
down, but
station?
I don't think everybody else would
You
be.
think the transfer station might be meeting at 5:30 AM instead of PM?
That'd be fun.
I believe it's PM.
They should learn their military
Okay,
time.
get
so,
bugged by the
so
cats
we're
for
gonna
free.
meet at 4:30 then.
Okay.
Oh, God, I
Next
better put that
Monday.
in here, I'll forget.
Same.
When shall I try to reschedule the highway department? Would you like to do it on the following meeting, which is December, I think is it the first?
First
think
would be
it's
Sunday, second.
Second?
Second.
Okay, thanks.
I only know that because I rescheduled that guy to be here on the 2nd.
When,
That's always good, except if it snows, then we're in trouble.
when is the next and/or last CIP?
That's the next meeting, and Emmett said he would be there today.
But when is that?
That's this Thursday.
Thursday.
It's Thursday.
So, in theory, he has all of the numbers lined up to give them, and then to give us the Monday after. Why,
That would be better anyways, wouldn't it?
why don't we, so it's this Thursday, right?
Yep.
21st, okay. So, why don't we meet here the hour early, like we discussed? And if Emmett's available to present us actual numbers before the transfer station discussions, then he can come present. If not, then we'll discuss what we've got for budget.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
So highway department, if he's here and available, and then, and probably that would take an hour. So, you would, then the following meeting kind of review what, budget
Yeah, then we
review.
would decide what we're
Yeah,
gonna
okay.
do for a review afterwards.
Okay, great, thanks.
Have you ever wrote in your little calendar, Monday 4:30 and then moved on?
And not write what it was? Of
Yeah,
course.
I just
do
wanna
it
know
all
if
the
anybody
time.
was, oh my God, then you look and you go, oh my God, what's Monday at 4:30? Cause I almost just did that.
I have a notebook I use because otherwise if I write it on pieces of paper, the paper disappears.
Oh, yeah.
Usually I throw it out.
Well, didn't really mean to, but you do.
You're a tidy man.
Right, yeah, very.
All right. Is the next one me? Or is it you?
No, it's me still.
Oh, it's still
It's all
you.
about me.
Man, you get all the fun.
I know.
Okay. So what is the next one then?
The next one, I wanna talk about the funds that are remaining in ARPA.
Oh, okay, so I thought you were saying another budget. Perfect. So on to new business, ARPA.
We have, the ARPA money left now is 16,621, and we have earned some interest on it, so we actually have in the account 19,339.
Oh, that's pretty good.
We have, the doors up here are set somewhat in our lifetime to be,
I see they changed.
main. And did you see in the main door, they put the post in? And so they will be wired for the carts. That's probably going to be, I think we're expecting another 6,000 in those. I was going to use this account to pay for that.
As much as I like that idea, and that's where we had originally allocated everything from, don't we have to use all of this stuff by the end of this year?
We are supposed to use up all the funds by the end of this year. Or we have to assign it by the end of this year, and I have to fill out paperwork to do that. I was hoping to close the account out by using all the funds. And I was sure that's what I want to discuss, if you'd like me to use this account for that, and what else should we do with the remainder?
So
And we have that, we still have,
we've still got our wonderful heating.
the
and upgrades.
heating, issue and the electric issue.
So we had put more into, I think, the town hall fund to be able to handle the heating.
We had, yes.
And so, in order to make sure that we don't have any of the money taken back, and B, can actually close everything out and not have extra burdensome paperwork to deal with, I would suggest that we use any remaining fund towards the heating and electric upgrade, since that's for this building. And then the remaining for the key fobs can come out of the fund for this building.
Okay.
I mean, it's the same purpose, but that way we administratively easier.
That and make sure we spend it before we lose it.
Right. Are there any other items on there that we need to look at and make sure is either spent or has another place to come from before we say drain the account with that?
I have one thing I'm waiting for from the documents, but I don't expect that to be a sizable bill. It's probably gonna be less than 1,000.
We have 16, the way our plan went, there's $1,643 left in the record retention project. And so if we use that for something else.
Yeah, you probably should, cause I don't know when that next bill's coming and I don't wanna
Okay,
lose it.
all right.
Where would we take assuming that we use all of it towards the heating stuff? If we've actually, how much of the heating stuff, cause have we paid the extra, like, we still owe a chunk plus the electric upgrade?
I think let's see, the total was 59 and we had paid half, 30,000, I think we paid. And then you authorized me to pay 20, so we owe another 9, when the project is finished. And we owe the electrician, we paid half of that, and so we owe them, another 3,500.
Okay,
Actually, 30, I guess.
So then-
2,500, I think it was, didn't you?
so putting those
Yeah.
together, that's not gonna drain this account.
No,
What if we added the 6 back
yeah,
in?
3750 for the.
If we added the what?
The 6 from the doors, then we're getting much closer to the
How about
number
some
we
of the
need to be
kitchen
at.
upgrade?
Oh, could we do any of that? I don't know if we can.
I don't know.
You
I
said
look
we
at-
could have located it, but then Dana would have to do the more paperwork for locating
okay.
it.
Well,
Could we put more towards the heating system? I would probably use all of it.
Well, we were trying to take as much as we could out of the impact fees, so we wouldn't have to give those back.
Okay,
And then, yeah, we were gonna take a bunch out of this, but we also had the other fund, so.
the impact fees, I think we're not in danger. We're not close to anything on that anymore.
Cause we used them for that, right? Or have we not done that yet?
Let's see, impact fees we
'Cause I
use
thought we made your motion
for,
that.
the public safety building,
Oh, okay.
sealing most of it, and the new compressor at the public safety building. So the next date that an item must be returned by is July 9th of 27,
Okay.
We got a couple of years.
so that's not,
I'm sure we'll find a hole for it.
Do we have any other large items that would make sense to have a single payment come out of this instead of someplace else? Like the budget or a fund?
have the single payment come out of the ARPA money, you mean? Well, the other thing, right now I don't have anything in the wings. I wish I could tell you that I have the back staircase scheduled, but we don't yet.
you mean here?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mean that one.
Yes,
Over there.
the outside.
Golly, you're gonna,
We have a few things that we've been talking about doing, which is low-hanging fruit, such as the handicap rails downstairs and things like that.
how about some
The,
fixture stuff out here?
the,
I suppose it's mostly paint, but that's too late.
we have a few things, next year we have to fix this ramp. There are a few boards on there that are needing to be replaced.
Now, if you were to get somebody to schedule and sign a contract, but yet they can't do the work until January, but you pay them, cause a lot of times it requires 50% down or something.
Many times they require a deposit.
Yeah, is that something you could do for that back deck,
Sure.
if you could find somebody?
I only need a person to do it, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
well, the guy that did the steps, what's his gig?
He did the steps and he did offer, he did give me a price on this, and I asked him to give me another price with using the composite equipment.
Oh, yeah.
The
Boards,
composite
yeah.
boards.
So are
That's
we
the way
waiting
it
for
should
that
be.
still?
And, I'm still waiting for that.
So maybe you should give him a shout and say, hey, if you get me this, then I can
can
get
do
you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
'Cause
should
we
go
all
with
move
the
a little-
composite board, so we don't have to worry about it in a couple of
Yeah.
years.
We move a little quicker when we know that it's signed work.
Mhm. I'm not sure if, it's,
But how much do you think that's gonna be?
well,
25, 300?
he gave me a price which I didn't think was that bad.
What was, do you remember?
It was,
Are we allowed to
I've
say
had
that?
a couple prices on that, so I'm.
I would suggest not saying prices if we have a
You
chance of
always
getting
ruin all the
quotes.
fun, Dave.
But,
It was less than 500,000. That was just a joke, people.
Yeah, right.
All the listeners out
I mean,
there.
it's true. I hope. The,
The audience just went wild.
yes.
It's normal.
Well, I would say, let's try to get, and that seems to be a very concern of a lot of
Well,
Our
it needs to be done.
townspeople,
You know,
too.
and-
We hear it quite a bit.
Yeah,
And if you, yeah, we don't need to talk about the price, but if it doesn't seem like it's outlandish, then,
Yeah, we hear about the steps and stuff all the time.
yeah, I say, see if we can get the guy lined up and get us a contract before the end of the year, and
okay,
we'll,
all right. I'll get someone right on it.
Okay. I just stepped up. Just a little step though. So how much are we gonna take of this for the heating?
Well, you've got,
I think we do everything that we can, because they're large bills.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I think you have about 12,000 for heating left over.
Okay, so out of the, that leaves us, what?
That covers all of the unassigned, but what is town office replacement?
Well, that's a replacement, Dave.
We're replacing the replacement.
That was the door project,
Oh, okay.
and,
And all we're doing with the doors is you guys' fancy key fob
Yes.
thing.
yes,
And I think they were fixing some of the things around the door too, so they seal
Some of
the
the-
bay.
right.
Well, that'll definitely need to be fixed.
I don't, that one shouldn't be getting a fob.
Oh,
but
thank God.
That's just,
Right.
yeah, the door and
How about
the,
to the bathrooms?
Yeah, we need a fob for that. It's the executive suite.
that way they know exactly when you're in there.
But part of fixing that would be the deck, the casing of the door,
It's really the door casing
Yeah.
that needs to be repaired, and the decking,
yeah,
and the steps going down.
yeah.
The structure.
What
in
size is
good
that out
shape.
there?
What's
What
that?
size?
Of the platform?
Yeah, do you know on top of your head?
I would say.
About 3x3.
Yeah, 3x3.
Never looked out there.
Maybe it's 4x4? Something like that.
Yeah,
It's not a big deck.
yeah. We could have like a big deck put on for,
Yeah, we could sit outside
You know,
in
you
the
Sit
nice
on
weather.
side.
Yeah, really.
watch the birds go by.
Yeah.
Maybe they
bears.
didn't close.
Yeah,
We did
bear.
have- we did
Well,
have
we
the
did have
bear
a
out
bear, yeah.
I remember you were on the phone with Chris when that happened. You said,
Yeah.
Chris, I gotta hang up with you. There's a bear in the,
Yeah, had a bear looking in the windows.
Real? No,
Yep.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
No, he walked around
Yeah.
in the backyard,
So he's
right
like,
near
oh.
my office.
Oh,
you know,
nice.
and-
Oh,
and,
probably he had some
Russell
good
thought-
lunch or
Were you
something. He
looking
was
out the
hungry,
window,
man.
Well, that's usually what we do all day.
So, yeah, I think,
He was a big one, too.
Look at
the-
that.
I think the key for spending will be whether we can actually get that or not, but if we're putting the 12 or so into the heating, worst case, we've still covered almost all of it.
And we don't need new doors over here, we just need the fob, we're just putting the
Yeah,
fob.
We're not getting new doors
Okay.
here.
I just would like them to be glass.
Oh, you would?
I'd like to be able to have the light there, but that's because we sit there all day. That's how, it probably
Oh,
doesn't
for
matter.
the-
either
for
way.
voting.
I don't know, there's something about being able to see, but it's probably only a couple times a year. That's
Well,
really a
we
problem.
don't want people driving by to be,
No,
distracted.
right, looking in the window.
Alright, so, hopefully that gets us really close.
Extend the deck a little bit.
You were going to look over, where we were for computer equipment.
We
Having a
have,
single computer, like a computer purchase or two would,
yeah,
be
I
able
think,
to
I
chew
think,
up whatever's left,
Russ and
probably.
I are gonna do an inventory.
on the day that we're not gonna have
On the day we have
power.
no electricity, would be a good day to do it.
Yeah, we will see.
Everyone's computer really has been replaced with the exception of the tax collector.
okay.
So, here we're gonna need
Well,
one.
Mary's needs new computers too.
Well, she says hers were fairly new.
Really? I don't think they've been replaced since I've been here. Which means and from what Dave had said, all those were replaced at the same time.
Well, that's why we're doing the inventory too,
Yeah.
so we'll figure that out. And I talked to
We replaced a laptop.
we did buy a new
For-
laptop.
Right, she got a little
Where?
laptop and her two desktops, or the desktop, she needs one new desktop, because she needs one for the assistant, or deputy.
Oh, right, cause they currently kind of share a thing and then
Right.
the kiosk.
So she's gonna need one new one for the deputy, and then
Her goal
Yeah,
is to have
laptop.
2 stations,
up front,
yeah.
so that's gonna be done, so that might be a computer that can come out of there, I'm just thinking.
So if we figure that out, then let me know and then I can make
Right,
sure
so-
that we get something
Yeah.
and,
Okay.
and then we can put that in
And
there.
then I talked to the police, and they said they would like a laptop, and they'll probably ask you for that. But their other computers, they said, are new, or newer.
I knew they had wanted the laptop, but that was for the safety thing, the laptop that you've been.
Well, that's
is
this one, yeah,
taken care of.
that's, yeah.
So-
Which Dana really likes and appreciates.
Oh, it's marvelous, I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't take
Is
5
this it?
seconds every time you touch a key.
it's really great,
Yeah,
because, you
I'm still
know,
stuck with that.
we do that.
I thought it was for both of you, so.
Well, he wants to use it at the meeting, so it's his now. Just like the label maker, nobody else gets to touch it.
No, the label maker's the only reason I took this job. No, this, Russ and I,
It's okay, we understand it's the red stapler.
you
You
know.
guys are
yeah.
working together, you're still smiling, that's good.
Well, there are a lot
Just
of,
do a general insult back and forth.
Well, I can tell you stories. Been here a long time.
it was nice hearing the old stories from Judy.
Yeah,
When Judy was
Oh, yeah, but she could, yeah,
Judy's
she,
got stories?
Oh, my. But anyway, I really appreciate that computer, I mean, it's just,
It's gonna get used
it's,
tomorrow.
you know, it's helped with these hazard mitigation meetings,
Presuming.
which is coming along fairly well. And it's quite tedious, but it has to be done.
When is the traffic safety, whatever thing that's gonna talk about the speed limits on Lake Road and stop signs and stuff?
Well,
Cause we already bought the speed limit signs and then they didn't put them up, cause they wanted to reaffirm it.
I'm on camera. I don't know.
Okay.
He's pleading the fifth.
So let's,
I mean, I have mentioned it more than once.
okay. All right. Anything else in ARPA budget type plan?
No,
Okay.
no.
So next on the new business is the Pearson Hill cell tower.
So Pearson Hill Cell Tower received a notification from Verizon of a letter of intent. They tend to modify the existing Hill Tower up there to add Verizon wireless as a service. And so one of the duties of the select board is to review the permit. And if there's no increase to the height and footprint of the tower and you count it as a minor modification, you can approve it. If you think it's something more major, then it needs to go through additional processes. And the gentleman was going to try to make it tonight, but he couldn't, so he's gonna be here on the 2nd. And you'll be able to answer your questions if you have
You didn't see anything weird, did you?
it. I didn't see anything other than they're adding on the new service, which is adding, from what me and Dave talked about in the office, it looks like just another outlet to the tower, a little pad, and then another.
From the look of it, and I may be reading it wrong, but from the look of it, they have the array of antennas already. They're gonna add another array of antennas,
like
either
one,
above
so-
or below it.
Yeah, so it's not,
Well, it can't be above it, cause that would add to height.
Well, I don't know if the existing ones are all the way at the top or not,
That's true.
but.
But
so-
they could
I-
add
that's
one
what I'm
below it
picturing.
or
Another
equal the
round.
height.
But based on, what they're saying they're putting in for generators and stuff to support it, we're talking very major power output, at least from anything that I'm familiar with. So hopefully they'll be able to answer some questions around that. And if further
noise, is that what you'd be
information
worried about?
would be well,
What's your worry on that?
so it would be less about noise because, okay, if it's a generator or whatever, maybe it, when power is out, annoys
True.
or the neighbor can comment on that. But and I'm sure there's already one that's
There.
there for
Just a
the
little bit
existing
bigger.
service.
Yeah, okay.
So adding another one really isn't gonna change that much, most likely. Again, I don't know all the details of it, but that would be my guess. But it will produce a whole lot more directional radiation, which If it's actually all that tall and above everybody, shouldn't matter much. If it, for example, is by somebody's property in order to go over the hill and continue down into the valley, then that could actually be a problem if they're close enough. I don't know the numbers on how far is considered safe or not, but I do know that, like, you have to turn it all off if you're going up into the tower to surface it, cause it will fry you, just like a
Oh.
microwave.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
So don't be climbing a cell tower, is that what you're trying to say?
yeah, basically.
Oh,
Um,
didn't know that.
So,
Put it to bed tomorrow.
Right.
I don't know what the distances are. I know there's a distance that's considered safe based on powers. I'm not gonna get into any argument other than let's know what the number is that's supposed to be out there. Cause many people will tell you all kinds of things. But we should kind of know that and how much it's changing what's up there. And it would be nice to have an invite to the planning board saying, hey, this is gonna be there. If you have questions or comments or thoughts, please let us know. And or come to the meeting so that you can ask them of the guy that will know instead of us. And then you had an interesting concept and an idea there as well.
About what?
You were
The
mentioning
repeater.
the repeater.
Oh, yeah, so I'm gonna be talking to the owner of the tower to see if we can get a repeater on there for the fire department, police department. They've been trying to get one on one of the towers for a while, since I figured they're talking to me, I might as well see if they're willing
Sure.
to do it.
That's
No
right.
Because what's
fun
the
with
worst that
towers unless you
happens?
put one
They
on
say
there.
no.
No.
So they gave me the number of the person I gotta contact, and I'm gonna contact them tomorrow and see if they'll
Perfect.
entertain
Good.
the idea.
Do we pay for a tower now for the fire, do they pay? No.
No,
No.
we don't, that's part of the problem, is we don't have very good radio signal.
But now, if they did something on that pole, would we end up paying for it or no?
We don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, that's a good answer.
If we're gonna ask if we can do it, and chances are we would have to pay for the repeater and that. And if they're doing the work, maybe they'll throw the repeater on there when they're doing the work they're doing anyway.
Hey, you could get an answer.
And if Verizon suddenly starts working well throughout the town, then most of your fire and police departments elsewhere typically have apps and stuff on a cell phone that take care of all of their responding and everything
Ah.
else. So that may be a future option for things to look at as well, if it's actually good service after it's been applied and tested. But
The time
We
when
won't
Webster
know.
doesn't have good cell service might be coming to an end.
What was
I
that?
said the time where this town doesn't have good cell service might be coming to an end.
No, there's definitely spots.
Yeah.
all right, so yes, we will see them again at our next normally scheduled meeting. And let's make sure we invite planning board type folks
Well.
to come as well.
I know, I haven't been with them, so if I'm gonna invite them, I know where they are.
You wanna take care of that?
Well, I guess I will, since I'll be
That would
there
be
later on
great.
this week.
And I was gonna say, since there will be another meeting in a couple days. All right, is there any further new business for us?
No.
Okay, moving right along then.
Moving right along.
You wanna do public comment before correspondence?
Sure.
We good? Oh, look at that, watch
They're
this.
really loud.
Watch this. Check.
Okay, so, and for correspondence, I only have one item, and it happens to be this item about the easement.
He's the other one who hasn't read it. That's
Which, you've gotten, the property owner does not wish to sign the easement. And that's all I have for correspondence.
All right. Motions and approvals, has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
Looked good to me.
All right, I would entertain a motion.
I will second that.
That wasn't making a motion.
I know, but why can't I say it that way? I came up with these rules. I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
I didn't say Monday, November 4th.
What was that?
I didn't say minutes from Monday,
Oh,
November
I'm sorry,
4th.
oh, I'm sorry, please forgive me.
Well, then we just approved the ZBA minutes.
Okay, and do we have any motions or signings?
Yes, there are 2 intent to cuts.
Yep.
And are you ready to talk about those?
Taxes are paid. I think they're both from the same logger too.
And we have a,
So are these intents or are these I'm paying taxes now?
No, they're intense.
Okay. Yes, Unitil. It's still a lot, but it's a whole lot less than it used to be.
yeah. Well, $80 of it is just the solar arrays
Yeah,
that they nick us.
they
for
wanna
the-
charge us for the meters to exist.
Exactly.
Charges for the meters?
Mhm.
Oh, jeez.
And the fact that their meters use electricity.
Oh, jeez. Man.
I know they took forever. Really good top spot.
Allen and Martin. It sounds fun.
I know. because-
At least you thought it would happen to the tablecloths.
Yeah.
All right.
I was a little surprised about that, I might add.
Hey, you didn't expect it to be Marty. It was Marty all along.
All right,
What holy moly.
do we have anything else for motions or signing?
Nothing in there, no.
All right, do we have any non-publics or
Yes,
something?
we do. I'd like to have a non-public with personnel,
All right,
91.3.2A.
so I would move that at 7:50, we enter into non-public session for personnel. All in favor?
Aye.
As per usual, we will not be resuming the stream. Once the non-public is done, we will come back into public session simply to close the session.